Hey, buddies.
Yeah, hello.
How's that for a start?
Hello,
Oh,
everyone.
what did I
Welcome to
just
episode 3.
click on? Welcome. I'm clicking on things on my laptop and it's going crazy. Yeah, welcome, buddies. So, what are we going to talk about this week, Chase?
Well, last time we used the whole episode to talk about buying cars.
Yes,
Uh,
and I didn't even finish, believe it or not.
no.
And according to Sue, who will remain anonymous, she says
Yeah.
I completely effed it all up. I got it all wrong. But I think she got it all wrong. So hey, and I wanted to tell people who are listening that there's actually a good resource out there on the internet. On YouTube, there is a channel called Your Car Advocate or your Auto Advocate or something like that. It's a father a son duo where the dad used to be a car dealer, like a sales manager. So some good tips
So,
and advice
genuine
from those guys.
experience in the car dealership.
Yes, unlike ours. So yeah, so before we get started, um, in the news lately, if Canadian news, if anybody's aware of Canadian politics, a senator named, I think her name is Lynn Bayak, resigned or retired early from the Senate. She is a raging racist and all around shitty person who's sort of said some disparaging things about indigenous people and whatnot, and she's been under pressure for a long time to be removed from the Senate. I don't know how you get removed from the Senate, but she should have been. And of course, like all things, instead of being removed, she's basically leaving the Senate of her own accord. So unfortunately, the way things tend to work in politics a lot of time is you can be just a crappy person and
Just walk away.
just walk away
Yep.
whenever you want,
Like
which is
nothing
pretty
happened.
shitty. Absolutely. So, yeah. Be a senator. That's all I can say. If
Be
you
a
want a
senator, yeah.
cushy job doing nothing,
Yeah.
just being a crap person. So, that's my news. Anything new with
Um,
you?
no, I guess we can just hop right into
Let's hop right
what we
into it.
wanted to
So,
do.
I wanted to start this week with discussing GameStop, and you might end up doing most of the talking because I bit my tongue
Oh.
and it's like 10 times the normal size in my mouth, so I have to keep my tongue outside of my mouth to talk. So
You're Sylvester the cat, yeah.
yeah, it really
Suffering
hurts.
fuckatash.
Yeah. So I peruse Reddit, which is like a
Yes.
social media message board type thing.
People know what Reddit
And
is, yeah.
yeah, some people do, I guess. Well, most, but
Most people know
I
what Reddit is.
I usually look at the things that are most popular or the things that are like on the top of people's minds or whatever.
Yeah.
And every so often I see this group called Wall Street Bets, and I
Yes.
don't know anything about it. It just scrolls by. It looks like a bunch of yahoos, and suddenly it was constantly in my scroll. Like
Yeah.
it was all Wall Street Bets and GameStop. And I tried to ignore it for as long as I could, but can't ignore it any longer because it's in the news, right?
Yes. It's become a thing.
Mhm.
Yeah, I too have never heard of Wall Street Bets, until a little while ago while I was on Reddit and I saw them and I was like, oh, whatever. I don't know anything about them. I'm not even gonna look at it. Uh, then on Twitter, everyone was talking about Wall Street Bets, and I was like,
Yep.
great, okay, what the hell is happening? And then I heard people
And
were
GameStop.
buying. Then I heard people were buying GameStop stock because of Wall Street Bets, and I was like, why? They're a failing company.
Yep.
They're not long for this world, but they were. And then I learned why they were doing it. And they were, people were making some mad bank off of this and screwing over these hedge funds. And then
And
and then
buying stonks.
yeah, and then the stupid I don't know what you would call them. Uh, would they be the broker app? I don't know, whatever Robinhood is.
Yeah,
Uh,
so my understanding is Robinhood is, I guess, an app that these uh, individuals can use to buy and sell stocks on their own. So
yeah.
without going through a without going
There's
through another person, they're using an app to do
yeah,
it.
it's of their own volition, I guess.
Volition, yes.
Yeah, and then the Robinhood app stopped them from being able to buy the stocks specifically because it was screwing over, I guess, wealthy people who were trying to short GameStop stock.
Yes. So all of this has forced me now to have to educate myself about this
Yeah,
stupid market.
watch The Big
Because,
Short again.
yes, and I did watch. I have done a little bit of educating of myself. So GameStop, for those that don't know, and of course everybody knows, they primarily sell video games,
Yes.
and the physical video game market is, for lack of a better term, a dying market because as early as 2020, uh, they were struggling. Well, they were struggling prior to the pandemic,
Yeah.
because the consoles that are being released would prefer you to purchase your product digitally, and my tongue is so big.
Gigantic.
Digitally, the it's cheaper for these companies because you don't have to produce a disc, you don't have to
Yeah.
produce a box, artwork, all that stuff. People just download it. So it's like everything else nowadays. It's almost like you're renting these games, just like Netflix and stuff. It's almost getting to be a subscription service because you no longer own a physical disc
There already are
anymore.
those though, subscription
Subscription.
services. There's
Yeah.
Xbox has that. Xbox Game
Mm,
Pass. You pay
mm.
a subscription and you basically can play whatever game you want on Xbox Game Pass. And it's a good
S-
deal, honestly.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you pay like 15, 20 bucks like a month, and then you get all these games. And I think sometimes they put new releases on there, so you don't even have
Oh
to
yeah.
buy the game anymore.
Yeah,
Um,
there's gonna come a time when you're gonna go to a store, secondhand store, or a flea market, and there's not going to be physical games like modern games. There'll be no physical modern games anymore.
yeah,
Yeah. And so where was I with this? So GameStop,
struggling.
well, yes and no. They actually, prior to the pandemic, they were in a good place, fairly good place.
They were in an
When
okay
the when the
place.
when the pandemic hit, they started to close some brick and mortar stores, and they had about $500 million cash, like they had money. um, but what it what seems to have happened was there's these investors, hedge fund or whatever kind of investors you want to call them. These are the wealthy, I guess the one percenters that, up there, the Illuminati. They kind of prey on companies, and they prey on these companies that look like they're going to fail. And it's sort of like you take a company like GameStop that might be kind of teetering on the brink.
Yeah.
They come along and shove it over the edge. And they do this, as I understand and as we discussed, by shorting the stock.
Yes.
So what they do is they come in and they make a bet that this company is going to go from $100 a share down to nothing, and they bet on a company failing in order to make money off of that. That's what they do.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
short the stock. So in in the movie The Big Short, uh, Christian Bale played a real person, Dr. Michael Burry, who shorted the housing market because in 2008 the United States economy collapsed
Mm-hmm.
because of the housing bubble. And not many people saw it coming, except for some smart people that actually were looking into it, because in the United States, the banks and everybody thought that, oh, it's just going to grow and grow and grow forever, that it's never going to stop growing. And this Michael Burry came along, and he knew that this wasn't sustainable, the housing market. And why it wasn't sustainable is because the banks in the States were so greedy. They were in essence selling mortgages, crap mortgages, to people who
Yeah.
couldn't really afford the mortgages.
Yeah, they were
So
basically giving mortgages to anyone and everyone, but they were also
yes,
junk mortgages. Yeah.
yes, these subprime mortgages that were extremely risky. They were risky. The definition of the subprime mortgage, from what I've read, is risky shit mortgages.
Yeah.
So you're looking at a 7-Eleven making minimum wage. They come along and say, "Do you want a $500,000 house? Come to us. We'll give you the loan for it." And what ended up happening to a friend of mine who lived in the States is he ended up in a subprime mortgage where suddenly his interest rate jumped so high. His mortgage went from like a few hundred to like over $1,400 a month. Like just
Oof,
this
Jesus.
massive jump, right?
Yeah.
Like massive. And this is what happened with these things. People had to were defaulting,
Mm-hmm.
walking away from their properties. So this Michael Burry went to these banks and said, I want to buy your credit default swaps. So he knew that this market was built on, like, just built on
It's
sand. Like it was
charades. Yeah,
yeah,
it was
it was
fake.
built on
Yeah.
junk credit. And so he went to the banks and said, I know that there's insurance on these mortgages because they're insured. And he says, I want to basically buy this insurance. I want to buy these credit default swaps. And he knew what would happen was that people were going to default, lose their homes, and he stood to make a ton of money betting against the market, betting
Yeah.
against the housing market. The banks laughed at him because they said the housing market will never crash. It can't crash. There's no way. Well, they were wrong. The market crashed because the um, shit mortgages were all bundled together, given a fake good credit score, because the banks were giving shit mortgages but saying they were good mortgages. He says he could already see that people were struggling to pay their mortgages, and he knew this whole thing was going to collapse. So he bet that once it collapsed, he'll make money, I guess, out of these default credit swaps, or credit default swaps, or whatever. So
So yeah,
it's unfortunate because he bet against the people, but
yeah,
it's not his fault.
it's the
It was
bank's
the
fault in
bank's
that
fault.
case.
Yes.
Yeah.
So in the case of GameStop, maybe you can better explain what these investors were trying to do, not the heroes, but the bad guys.
Oh, the.
Trying to short
Yeah.
it, right? They were
Yeah.
basically borrowing money against GameStop.
You're essentially not borrowing money, but from what I understand, and I'm not well versed on this, Twitter has taught me all I know about shorting, so blame Twitter if I suck.
And Christian Bale.
And Christian Bale, blame him. You're not borrowing money. It's to the extent that you're borrowing a stock. You've essentially bought a stock from a broker, sold it at the same price, and then are waiting for the price to lower so you can buy it cheaper, and then giving that stock to the broker at a cheaper price. That way, you're in essence making money. Um, you want to,
And I thought
yeah,
I thought it was like a borrowing situation, because let's say I'm one of these rich guys, and let's say the GameStop stock is $100 a share, and I want one share. So don't I go to my broker and say I want one share? He has to find a share.
Yes, he's
but
borrowing it from someone else.
he's borrowing
It's
it.
like a long line of just borrowing from other people. And then if they can't
Okay.
pay it back, if they can't get those shares back to the people that it belongs to, they are forced to buy the shares and give it back. So
So I
basically,
buy it
yeah,
for $100,
yeah,
and the idea is that you and your evil buddies. It's not just one share. You and evil buddies buy a ton of shares
yes,
from this company, and the idea is to get that share price down.
yes,
So when you buy it, you return it, but you still have the money, as I understand it. Like,
mm-hmm,
this is the part that I have a hard time understanding, is that it's like you acquire it, then you give it back, the stock price plummets, and you buy it again with the same money you sold it
yeah.
for. Oh, and I guess what you do then is then you can use the extra you got
Here,
to pay that off.
I have
Yes.
a little blurb from a Twitter thing I
Okay.
stole. A short is when you borrow a stock from a broker and sell it
Yes.
immediately at its current price.
Okay. So you
Then
still
you
owe your
hope, yeah,
broker.
yeah, you're basically borrowing from a broker.
Yes.
You've sold his stock immediately for the price. Then you hope the stock's price falls such that you can buy the stock back at a lower price and return the shares you borrowed to your broker, but keeping the difference.
Gotcha.
So you're
Gotcha.
basically taking shares from your broker,
Yes.
selling it at a high price, hoping it falls so you can buy it back cheaper, and then giving it back to the broker.
Exactly what I said,
Okay,
but
yeah.
I'm just kidding. I'm
Okay,
just
yeah,
you
sure.
explained it better
Yeah.
than I did.
Okay.
But I understood that there was a borrow in there, and that you
Yes.
still owe money back to your broker. Well, here's the thing: is these folks out there, it's a risk, because
A
if
massive
you
risk.
do this,
Yeah.
the shares might not plummet.
Yeah.
They might not go anywhere. They might go up. So you take a big risk. But if there's enough of you to try to F the company over,
Yes.
then like I was saying, you can push GameStop over the edge. So these Reddit, these guys living in their parents' basement on Reddit, these white knights came in and
So nice.
screwed these
Yeah.
investors over.
By basically buying up as many stocks as they could
Stonks.
and stonks, yeah, and driving the price of the shares up instead of down, forcing these shorters, I guess, whatever you want to
Yep.
call them,
Yep.
to have to buy it back at a higher price,
Yes.
and essentially, I think it bankrupted
Well,
someone. I can't remember.
here's the thing: is in The Big Short with Christian Bale, greatest actor possibly of our generation. He took a chance because he ended up, well, not Christian Bale, but
The
Michael Burr.
yeah, the person it's based off of.
Yeah, Christian Bale did this.
Christian Bale went to the banks and
He ended up with $8.4 billion of
oh,
credit default swaps. That's
oh,
how much he bought. So, and they were thrilled, because they're like, we're gonna make money off this clown.
yeah,
Because for every month that went by that the market did not collapse, he had to pay the bank interest.
yes,
Then for every month that, so then when things crashed, so I think there was something in the movie where things weren't moving the way he wanted them to, so he was like
yes,
lying on the floor,
yeah,
because he's like $8.4 billion. So with these investors, the longer these white knight knuckleheads hold on to these stocks, that's why they keep saying hold the line.
yeah,
Every day and month that goes by, these guys have to pay their lenders,
yeah.
and they don't have money now.
They got nothing.
They got nothing.
It's gone. Poof.
So
Yeah,
these kids in their
kids.
parents'
It's not.
basement.
It's not kids. It's a
I
bunch
know.
of
I'm just kidding. They've basically
yeah.
bankrupted um,
A massive hedge
potentially
fund.
who knows yeah, a massive hedge fund.
like 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 billions of dollars.
Yeah, just by just by
Just like
just by looking at how they were wanting to destroy GameStop and saying we don't like this.
and it's not like this hasn't been done before. It's been done before. There's a term. It's like a short squeeze or something like
Yep.
that.
Yep.
It's
Well,
been
yeah.
done. It's not
Well,
illegal.
and that's the other side to this story is the fact that what they're doing is they're playing the game the way anybody in the stock market plays the game.
Yep.
It's not. It's not. Like to say it's some sort of moral. Oh, you must follow a playbook. It's like no. You get into the market, and that's what they always tell us. They say, if you people want to get into the market, you better be willing to risk everything. Well, again, that is these investors and one percenters trying to keep the rest of the people out of the market
Yes.
because the money making is only for certain people apparently.
You better be ready to risk it all as long as you're poor.
Yeah. So these people were screwing these investors over, I guess, using apps like Robinhood, which is a investment app, and Robinhood shut them out,
Yep.
right?
Basically.
Because it didn't like what they were
Yeah,
doing.
they stopped trading, or I guess the buying of stocks to GameStop, and AMC has started to pick up traction because they were like, well, let's just do what we did to GameStop to AMC because they're struggling right now in the pandemic, and
Yep.
a bunch of hedge funds are betting against them, so let's buy their stock, and that started to pick up. And
Yeah. So
yeah, they stopped. Apparently, they stopped buying. You could only sell, and apparently, they were going into people's accounts and selling their stock for them without their permission.
oh my God.
So that's what I've heard. There is a lawsuit against them now in New York,
Yes.
I think.
Hmm.
New York lawsuit. But yeah, they're in big trouble. SEC is apparently looking
Yep.
into it.
Because now there's collusion between Robinhood and certain investors,
Yes,
investment firms,
who
trying
don't
to
who don't like
shut
it. Yeah,
out. Because the whole idea, as I understand, of like something like Robinhood, again, is for the folks like you and me to
yeah.
be able to
Regular
invest.
folk who
But
want to
yeah,
trade and buy
yeah,
stocks and
yeah,
yeah, and
yeah,
there's people I guess who have differing opinions on this. Some people I get some people are like, "Oh, what Wall Street Bets did was kind of sketchy." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's Wall Street, baby. Like that's
yeah.
just the game. Uh
Well, I,
they
I
played it."
told you, yeah, I gave you an example of a company I worked for where um, we were positioning as a corporation, we were positioning ourselves to be merged or taken over, and so the company
uh yeah.
wanted to have a relationship with company A, but company B wanted to take us over.
A hostile
So
takeover, yeah.
yes, so company B started purchasing shares in our company, bought up a ton of shares. So what our company did was something called a poison pill, and that is when you flood the market with shares. So the company came along, bought up tons of shares at $100 a share. I'll just make up a number, and so we put tens of thousands of shares on the market. Well, when supply and demand, when you flood the market with shares, you bring the value of the shares down. So
Yeah.
suddenly this company's shares for $100 a share went to 10 cents a share.
It plummets.
And so they said, "Oh shit," and backed out because our company's like, "No, we don't want to go to the dance with you. We want to go to the dance with someone else." So
Yeah.
these things are not illegal. They're just they may be looked at to be, kind of morally questionable or ethically
Yeah.
questionable, but
It's the
but
market.
it's a free market system.
Yeah, and it's
It's like,
like
yeah,
so I've seen a lot of good that's happened out of the Wall Street Bets thing. Like people being able to pay medical bills, and some guy was able to get surgery for his dog because some Reddit told him to invest in GameStop, and now he made like 4 grand and more, probably more, just in these stocks. And he was like, "Yeah, I was able to save my dog," and
Hmm.
like people are like, "Yeah, I was able to pay for this," and
Yep.
it's the poor getting some money back, and then suddenly it's like, no, you're not
Yeah.
allowed to
Well,
trade anymore.
we're not allowed to. There's the longer I live, the more conspiracy theories and stuff start to, you start to look at things. And this isn't a conspiracy theory in that there is obviously different sets of rules for different people.
Yeah,
Different
there's
set of rules for black people, as you see in the United States.
it's a caste system.
Different set of rules
Yeah.
for poor.
Yep.
I have investments that when
I'm a bit of a stock market
I,
big cat myself.
yeah, I have a few million out there. No, I have some I have some stonks,
Yeah.
and when the 2008 crash hit,
I remember that.
I lost a ton of money.
I remember.
Do you think that these wealthy investors lost every time there's a downturn because of the Big Short? They can make money off of that.
Yeah.
So the only the only groups that I ever see benefiting from failure are
So rich.
investors
Yeah.
and CEOs.
Yes.
You can be the CEO of a company, drive it into the ground, and you get a golden parachute.
Yeah. Yep.
You know
They.
what? And I can't get a job as a CEO. Hire me. I'll fail your company. You know?
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's like the banks failed, and instead of letting them fail, which is what a supposedly truly capitalistic market would do,
Yes.
they got a bailout, and
From the people's
yeah,
money.
from the people's money, and
Yep.
then these CEOs can walk away with a fat paycheck
Yep.
from the government.
Yep. Yep. So when the housing market was shorted, all these poor suckers lost their homes,
Hmm.
yet their taxes went to these banks and these big
That
corporations.
screwed them over in the first place.
The government should have stepped in, bought those mortgages up, given those people their goddamn houses. That's all I'm going to say about that. Now I'm
That's
angry.
yeah. That's that's what a government should be for, but we all know that corporations rule
Yeah.
the government now. So
Until AOC gets in, you know,
until she is
gets in,
until she
until
is
she's
president,
the queen of the world.
McQueen.
McQueen.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't want it.
You chop this, McQueen.
So that's GameStop.
Yeah, that's GameStop and Wall Street Bets.
Mm.
Great. It's amazing. It got everyone involved in trading. People who could care less about trading are like, "Oh, this is interesting. Oh, I should invest in stonks."
Yep, stonks.
Even stupid, dumbass Elon Musk got involved. He
Did
was
he
he
buy some
was
game stunk?
yeah, he was all for Wall Street Bets, of course.
Yeah.
Even though he's a snake and
He's
probably
he's
would.
such a he's such a different kind of cat. He really
Yeah,
is.
he's
Like
he's
he's
such
just
a
such
he's
a
such a like he makes memes, but then it's like he does the opposite of all his like
yeah.
he's like
Yeah.
he portrays
He's like
himself as a good person and then does the exact
yes,
opposite of what he does.
yes.
He's
He's one of these I'm one of you.
yes.
But then he's like, you better work in my factory, my COVID factory.
Yeah.
And he's like whipping people and stuff, and
Yeah, the
you know
California
he
government's like, you can't have your factory open. And he's like, well, screw you. I'm gonna
yeah,
put my workers in the parking lot under tents and paint
yeah,
cars. Like,
yeah,
not him. He's not there. He's not doing any of that. He's got these poor sucker Americans who
yeah,
think it's their God-given right to work in a tent.
yeah. So
He
for as much as you people worship electric Jesus, don't forget he's not one of you.
He is a
He's not.
billionaire. He's made so much money during this pandemic.
Yep.
He's
Yep.
like quadrupled his net worth or whatever.
Yep.
He's a fat cat. He
Yep.
pretends to be one of you. So
Unless you're Grimes or one of these
or
celebrities that can, yeah,
AEX-12.
that can tweet directly to him and say,
uh,
"Oh, my Tesla screen is locked up," and then you got Elon Musk, vaporizing into your car to fix it. He doesn't give a crap about you.
yeah, no, his company could care less. There's a reason he doesn't have a PR team. He doesn't invest money in it because he doesn't care.
He doesn't see the value
If
in
yeah, if he
PR.
cared, he'd have a PR team.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
If he cared, he would, not, I don't even think he would need a PR team. He would only need good customer service. And from
Yeah,
these stories I read about these poor people that wait months to a year for their vehicle, who get the runaround, who can't get parts, just a nightmare. He's got to smarten up in that regard. Good customer
yeah. Who
service
get the
is what's
runaround
needed.
and then get a Tesla that's poorly built and it's just junk.
Yep. We'll have to have another episode on our
Yeah.
rant on Tesla.
Yeah, this one
With
from Wall Street Bets to screw Elon Musk.
Mhm.
Well, we're at the 30-minute mark.
So we gotta switch. We gotta switch gears now.
Yeah, we gotta drift mode into into the topic that we wanted to talk about last podcast, but
Why my underwear doesn't hold up under stress. Is that the one? Oh, that's the other podcast.
yes. Okay,
Sorry.
yeah, no,
Sorry.
we wanted to do like
Oof.
a fast food
Oof.
tier and kind of discussion thingy. Thingy.
Yes.
It's the discussion. Tier lists were a thing on YouTube for a while.
Tearless.
Tier list, a tier list. Where
Tier
yeah,
list.
tiers. Yeah, like you like
My tongue. Okay.
yeah, tier list. Yeah, tonguey over here can't talk,
Yes.
but yeah,
Well,
tier lists used to be a thing on YouTube. They were very popular for like 5 minutes, and then they weren't. People still do them, like critical and stuff, but yeah, we wanted to kind of vent, talk about, and rank fast food places we have here in Canada. We don't have as many as you have in America.
or do we?
We don't. We really don't. Uh, but yeah, I don't know. Do you have a list of
Well,
like fast food places you?
here's the challenge. So
Yeah.
the reason I wanted to discuss fast food is because what grinds my gears is the
Yeah.
fact that you don't agree with me on what I think is good fast food.
Yeah.
And really,
This Joker likes Burger King.
hey, let's not get ahead of ourselves here.
Yeah.
Let's not turn off the
Okay.
audience.
Okay. Well.
McQueen.
McQueen, you dropped your burger.
We disagree on, certain things about fast food. Some things we do agree on.
I think for the most part we agree on a lot. I think there's only
I
one
think
real
so.
restaurant we disagree on.
Maybe, yeah. The problem I have though is defining fast food. Now, the definition of fast food has to do with food that is mass produced, designed for commercial resale,
Yeah.
and the focus is on speed over it being any good.
It's quantity over quality,
Yeah,
basically.
it's not really about a culinary. So we're not talking Gordon Ramsay
Levels of
level
Hell's Kitchen.
of Hell's Kitchen stuff. Although you could argue that Hell's Kitchen puts out food faster than some fast food places.
Cough, cough,
So
McDonald.
yeah, so I wanted us to kind of maybe start listing some fast food places, because the problem
Yeah.
is that when I think of fast food, I think of speed. I think of places generally where there's a drive-through.
Yeah.
However, some places classify a food truck as a fast food thing too. So
Yeah.
I think we need to maybe talk about them and then also talk about whether or not we consider them fast food.
That's a
Because
yeah.
yeah, see in Canada, I would say we pretty much have four major fast food chains. Like McDonald's obviously being the big one.
McDonald's is the big one, yeah.
Then we've got the A&W is popular in Canada.
A&W's
I
big
don't know
here. In the States, apparently it is very different from what it is here.
really.
Apparently it is not as good in the States as it is here.
I can believe that.
I can believe that as well, yeah.
And I should actually expand this list because I was going to go McDonald's, A&W, Wendy's,
Yeah.
Burger King, but I'm really forgetting Tim Hortons because
Yes.
Tim Hortons is huge here, like just enormous.
Yeah.
And so in the States, we have been to a Tim Hortons in the States, but it
Yeah.
didn't have the same selection,
It was it
or
was different.
variety.
Yeah.
It was different. I think the coffee was pretty much the same for the most part, but it was different. And
I don't know, would you classify Tim Hortons as fast food or not?
I would because speed. Here's the thing. Okay, so
Yeah, I guess I have
let's
a hard time wrapping my head around fast food that isn't just like a burger. But I
exactly,
guess if they do prepare
exactly.
food quickly, well, Tim Hortons quickly, uh, yeah, I guess that would be technically fast food.
Yes.
Yeah,
So if we were to compare these various places, like say let's compare McDonald's to Tim Hortons. My experience with McDonald's, I mean, McDonald's is generally my go-to place. And I wanna kind of sidebar this for a second just to assure everybody that I am by no means a fast food. I don't like it.
you're not a fast food junkie. Yeah,
No, I think it's mostly for kids. I don't want to eat fast food. However, we're in a pandemic right now, so it's
yeah.
very limited,
I'm,
especially when you have a family. When you're in a vehicle with 5 or 7 people,
yeah. When you're a breeder,
when you're a breeder, you breeders out there, it's hard to agree on a place, and McDonald's is often a place that's for the most part mostly
it's
agreeable.
it's got a little bit of everything for everyone.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you know what? It's and the funny thing is if you have not had McDonald's for maybe a couple of months, it tastes pretty
yeah.
good
You're
when you
like, oh
have it.
wow, okay.
But then when you have it the next day and the next day, you start to not feel good
Yeah, you're
because
like, oh no. Yeah, the pandemic. It's like, yeah, I'm out. I'm sad. I'm hungry. I don't want to cook. I just want something quick. Quick.
I want to cry into a
A
Big Mac.
Whopper. Yeah,
I want to
relatively cheap.
I'm gonna I'm
Yeah.
gonna dry my eyes on this Whopper bun.
The
So
employees are crying over the
McDonald's
Whoppers.
McDonald's is generally my go-to food, and one of the reasons it's a go-to food is their burgers, except for certain ones, are the perfect size to fit in my big fat mitt when I'm driving. So
Yeah.
I can reach into that bag,
Yeah.
pull out a cheeseburger. I can put 8 cheeseburgers in my mouth at one time and keep going. I can't do that with, say, a Big Mac because that thing is messy.
Yeah.
But regular burgers, you can do that, and I'm sure you can do that with other fast food places. But I guess for convenience, McDonald's is very
Yeah,
convenient.
it has the cheaper, smaller hamburgers that you can get, and you can get a lot of them, and they fit in your hand really nice. And yeah, like you
Yep.
said, you can just munch away on these little hamburgers while you're driving and
Yes,
just
you
keep
can
going.
take your family there, get the order,
Yeah,
and everybody's eating, and I just
yeah,
continue on my merry way.
yeah.
Here is the downside of
Yeah, I was about to
McDonald's.
say get to the cons now.
Okay, so I order my food. Um, it's great because I ordered
Yeah.
my 8 cheeseburgers, ordered food. Well, number one, 10 minutes to get my damn food. Number two, it's going to be wrong.
Yes.
So some of my biggest complaints with these fast food places, McDonald's only, it seems, is it takes forever to get the food and it's wrong. And that
Yes.
drives me crazy.
Yeah. The
So you were mentioning Tim Hortons.
yeah.
The I could probably say that if it over my lifetime, if I've spent, say, you know, 20 hours of my life waiting for McDonald's food, I've probably spent 30 minutes of my life waiting for Tim Hortons food, because Tim Hortons is incredibly fast
Yeah.
compared to McDonald's.
Yeah. Comparatively between the two, but before I guess we get to Tim's, for McDonald's, it's fast food that's not very fast, and it's fast
No,
food that's not very accurate.
well, exactly.
It's
So,
it's the worst
so
of what you want from a fast food chain.
yes, yes. So we go to order, and they generally like it's becoming so common now for them to tell me to pull off to some
Yeah,
weird
the
area to
reserved
wait.
parking spot.
And I pull up, and I end up beside people because everybody's waiting, and we're all just looking at each other, licking
Yeah,
our lips,
looking at
hoping to
each
get
other,
food.
all pissed off,
Yeah.
pouty.
And eventually somebody comes out,
This poor employee has to run out.
and he hands you bags and says, "I'm sorry for the wait." He runs away before I can answer, and the order's wrong.
Yeah. So then
So
you have to get out of my
you
car, walk into the
yes,
McDonald's,
yes,
complain I didn't get my food.
yes. So you have you've insulted me so many times, A, by apologizing for the wait and then getting it wrong. So I'm sitting here going, "Okay, I have no problem waiting for an accurate order."
Yeah.
But calling yourself fast food and being slow and wrong. And when I fill out, you saw me, I filled out the little survey,
Yeah.
and I blasted them because it wasn't just a one-time thing. It's over and over and over. I blasted them saying, "You guys got to get your act together. I don't mind waiting, but you guys got to have some sort of quality assurance. There's got to be
Something.
quality control. Take
Yeah.
one extra minute
There's
to
20,
dig through it."
20 employees in that kitchen, all
Yes,
running around.
running around, bumping into each other. Bells are going off. It's chaos. Tis confusion.
Okay, so if we were to
And
like
so
rank, if
I filled out my thing. I want to talk about this. I
okay,
filled
yeah,
out my
yeah, yeah,
thing,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and I got a coupon. It said, do you want Ronald McDonald to call you?" I said, "Yes, I want Ronald McDonald himself to call me." What do I
Yeah.
get? I get a coupon telling me to buy more McDonald's food. I'm not getting anything free. It's like, here's a coupon. Present this coupon to McDonald's. We'll give you some food. You give us money. And I'm like, what?
Do what you
Like,
do
what?
last time and hope that it's right.
Yeah. They're like, and Ronald McDonald, no one called me. No email, no calls. Anyways, so
Yeah.
McDonald's is like at the bottom of my list
Yeah,
because it's so disappointing.
if I was to rank McDonald's on like a tier list from like A to F, I'd probably put it at like a D.
Yeah.
Like not an F, but it's like a D. The food to me isn't that great. It's okay.
Yeah.
I don't even like their fries that much anymore.
Wow.
Their fries just I don't know. It's every time I get them they're cold or stale or even fresh they're not that tasty.
Oversalted, undersalted. There's
Yeah,
no
it's
consistency.
it's never right.
Yeah.
Their food is just okay. The
Yeah.
experience is always bad.
Yeah.
I'd say it's like a D.
Well, here's the thing, I guess, is as you mature,
Yeah.
you start to realize that there are places out there, and they're becoming fewer and fewer, where you can legitimately get like real
Yeah.
cut fries, like a Five Guys. You can get
Oh.
those dudes who are slicing the potatoes like right there.
Yeah.
George's, and now these are places that arguably you could say they're fast food. There's no drive-ins for some of these, but you can probably sometimes get your Five Guys order in the time it takes McDonald's to give you their order and screw theirs up.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Five Guys is so much faster.
Yeah.
So much.
Yeah.
I guess,
So
should we rank
yeah.
Tim's now? Should we go to some
Yeah,
pros and
we
cons
can
of
go to
Tim's?
Tim's. Tim's is also like a D or an F
Yeah.
because it's a frustrating, miserable experience every time I go into a Tim's.
Especially drive-through.
Yeah, and I shouldn't say that because I haven't had that many miserable experiences, but I have had experiences where
I wouldn't say it's miserable. I would say it's frustrating.
it's a frustrating experience there,
Yeah.
having to talk to them, because there's this running joke where every time you go to the Tim Hortons window, he says, "Can I help you?" And I say, "Yes, I would like such and such sandwich," and then immediately goes, "Just a minute." And you and I are like, why does he ask to take our order when it's always just a minute?
Why ask me?
Yeah, it seems that he has to go and count how many buns they have or how many whatevers they have, because he needs to make sure they've got what it takes to make my sandwich. And I'm like, what? Like, it's places like this that offer, a lot. Tim Hortons, when they first started, like way back, I was, just a child, and it was coffee and donuts, because we used to have Tim Hortons and Robin's Donuts.
Yes, Robin's.
And these were the dainties and the drinks. And then Tim's was like, we're going to start competing with Subways and other places.
We're gonna start
by
making
offering
breakfast sandwiches and
breakfast sandwiches, this,
paninis,
that, the other thing,
yeah.
specialty drinks. And that's when the speed goes from quick to like ass slow, because now they gotta friggin' make everything. So it's like when we went into the Tim's out here and you asked for like some assorted Timbits or whatever, they go, "Yeah, well, we only have 2 Timbits right now." It's like, you're a goddamn donut shop.
Yeah. Like,
and they never have anything made.
Like, they only make the Timbits in the morning and then you never make it again? Yeah. Like, that's the only time you're making donuts?
A lot of these places, like especially like Robin's Donuts, used to bake things in-house.
Yes.
And now what I understand is places like Tim's, you get all this dried up donuts, and they rehydrate it.
It's dehydrated donuts, yeah.
These shrunken donuts, and they're light and they don't weigh anything, and
I much prefer Robin's Donuts.
Those thick cake donuts.
Yeah, they're like, heavy. They fill you up.
Yeah. Yeah, you can stuff down 800, like Homer, stuff down these Tim Hortons donuts one after the other, and it's like eating air. But then you've got diabetes because you ate all this sugar. So Tim's I rate poorly, because I just don't think that I never sit there and go, boy, I'm really craving something from Tim's.
Oh man, that turkey bacon club. Oh, I'm craving it.
Yeah. Victoria loves that. Always wants a turkey bacon club.
But it's just, she gets it, and she just gets it as like a turkey mayo sandwich, basically.
All she does is get a thick loaf of bread with some turkey and mayo on it.
Yeah, that's all it is.
And it's and then you're looking at however much that costs, like $6, $7, $8 for this stupid. I can make this stupid thing at home. It's not. There's nothing special about this.
Yeah.
I cannot make a Big Mac at home.
No.
I can try, but I'll never duplicate that Big Mac taste.
Yeah, you're right. I have never craved anything from Tim Hortons ever. No. Not once.
No. Maybe if you go there, you'll go, yeah, I'll have a certain drink.
Yeah, if I go there, maybe I'll start to feel like it, but I've never been sitting at home like, oh, I could really go for a frozen lemonade right now.
Yep.
I've never. Yeah. So yeah, I'd agree. Yeah. I'd agree with like a D for Tim's.
There we go. Yeah, we'll move on from Tim's, because what's there to talk about with Tim's other than we have a million of them, and everybody lines up there for 8 hours.
Yeah.
So your wait is pretty much sitting in line, waiting for your stupid
waiting for a guy
double.
to say, "What do you want?" You tell him, and he goes, "1 second."
Yeah.
Okay. Would you consider Subway fast food? I think I would.
I would as well, and
I have seen Subways with drive-thrus as well.
Yes. You can get them at drive-throughs. They're fast because they can
Yes.
assemble a sub in no time. The problem with Subway is if I want if I want to eat a loaf of bread, I'll go down to the Safeway and buy
Yeah.
myself a baguette
I
and just sit munching on a baguette, I guess.
yeah, I would list Subway like C tier, like middle.
Yeah,
Um,
and I enjoy certain subs.
yeah.
Like I like a chicken bacon ranch, but um their chicken, as it turns out, wasn't real chicken. It was like tofu or
Yeah.
something. And I always wondered, because I used to really like it. It used to be like little cubes of chicken,
Yeah.
and as long as I thought it was chicken,
It's
I
perfectly
was
fine.
okay.
Yeah.
But now they've started using, I guess, realer chicken.
Slightly more
I
real
don't
chicken.
like it because it's all shredded and I'm like, oh, want you to go back to the fake stuff.
You preferred the tofu, yeah.
I prefer
It
the
would have
fake
been.
stuff.
They could have just kept the fake chicken, just called it like tofu chicken, and then just
Chicken.
offered a real chicken option instead
Yeah.
of fake chicken.
This
But
is our
in terms of eating there, I the sandwich is fine, I guess. I can eat it. I'm fine, which is good. I can eat it. Sometimes I'll feel sick after eating it because it's a lot of bread, and
well,
my
it's
stomach's like,
yes.
oh god. But
It's way too much bread.
it's too much bread. Yeah.
Diabetics are not supposed to eat there
No.
because it turns out some country did analysis and said the bread is nothing but sugar formed in the
I
shape of
believe
bread or
that
something.
was like Ireland.
Yeah, they said this is
They couldn't
it's
classify
almost
it as
illegal.
bread. Yeah.
We can't classify
Yeah.
this as something
Yeah, they
edible.
basically said you can't call your bread bread because by our analysis, this isn't bread. This is sugar. So
So yeah, vegetables squeezed between two loaves of sugar. And Subway suffers from the same thing Tim Hortons does. There's nothing Subway can give me I can't make at home.
yeah, it's
The
just a
difference
sandwich.
is the sauces.
Yeah.
You generally don't have all these sauces at home unless you buy them.
Yeah.
And so you go to Subway. Who couldn't put a loaf of bread, put a bunch of lettuce in it, tomatoes,
I mean,
green peppers,
you
and
realistically could
sauces?
look up like Chipotle sauce, easy to
Yeah,
make, and then I'm sure there's
could
like,
buy it
yeah,
from a
mix these
store.
two sauces together and you have Chipotle, and there you go,
That's it.
boom.
Yeah, there's nothing special about that in that regard, other than the fact that they became popular, um, marketing themselves as a healthy alternative when the truth is actually the opposite.
Yeah, they're
I've done
not.
some research into eating a Subway sandwich as opposed to say a quarter pounder,
Yeah.
and your quarter pounder gives you fewer calories than a sub would because of the bread and the sauces on it. So.
Yep.
So Subway, I don't know. I probably put it down the list too. I mean, again, I like it every so often, but after I eat it, I'm really sluggish.
Yeah, I'm
Like
like, I can't do nothing.
I'm so weighed down by the sugar in it. Like I think my blood glucose is probably at 88, and I know my vision goes blurry.
Oh
And
god.
and sometimes you eat it and you're fine.
Yeah.
Sometimes you eat it and you have the shits for days because maybe the mayo's gone bad.
Yeah.
Maybe the chicken's bad.
Maybe the vegetables got left out too long. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's another thing is, again, consistency. Depending on who makes the sub, you get different results. Sometimes you get somebody in there who counts each little shred of lettuce,
Yeah. Yeah.
they're like, oh boy, you know, if I give this guy more than 6 pieces of lettuce, we're not making profit here. And then you're sitting there going, more lettuce, more
Yeah.
lettuce, give me more goddamn
Yeah.
lettuce,
More pickles. More
pickles
this.
or whatever. Yeah, I mean, you think about what they charge for these things, 10, 11, $12 for a foot long, and what's actually on there. It reminds me of a pizza, the markup on a pizza. You've got a couple of dollars or a dollar's worth of toppings because it's just some lettuce and whatever and bread, and you're making a ton off of that.
All right, we
So,
gotta speed this up. We have 5 minutes till an hour.
no, we're good.
Okay. Oh,
We're good. The
someone's
dog's
at the
barking.
door. Dog is barking.
See, we don't need to speed it up. People are
Yeah,
loving this.
people
Hey,
are.
guys,
Yeah.
if you're watching this right now or listening, please subscribe.
Yeah.
Please ring the bell.
Hit that
Please
like.
like. Please share.
Yeah.
Our views have gone down from our initial episode, so
Don't say that.
hopefully you guys
Don't
aren't
say
hating
that.
it. If you're hating it, please leave a comment down in the box.
Don't be like,
Oh.
please. We're begging for likes.
Oh, we'll edit that out then.
Okay,
So
well, it's whatever.
let's move on to something else, like
Maybe
onto
something
Wendy's
good.
or Burger King.
Yeah, let's move on to Wendy's because that's
Oh,
one
I
of
thought
my
we were gonna
favorite.
move on to Burger King since you said something good.
No, I said something good. We'll move on to
Wendy's
Wendy's.
is not my favorite food, but I have to admit it's lightning fast and it's consistent.
Yes, I don't think I've ever been to a Wendy's where they got my order wrong.
I have, but we're talking back when your mom and I were first together, before you even
That's
existed.
Like 20 plus years ago.
Yeah.
Then, yeah.
We used to go to the Wendy's on St. James, and I told you I used to get these little chicken wrap things. They were amazing. Every so often, something might get screwed up, but generally that was with your mom's order because they always screw moms up for some reason.
Yeah, she has a hard time ordering.
And she doesn't like Wendy's too much anymore because we ate at that Wendy's one time and she got terribly sick.
Yeah, because she ordered the fish or whatever.
She orders... Why? Who orders fish
from a fast food
place?
Joint? Yeah.
Oh my God, never do that.
Only her. And of course she got sick.
She's like, we're at the McDonald's. She's like, I'll have the mussels. It's like, are you insane?
I'll have the day-old spaghetti, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, gross. Stop.
Raw chicken?
Yeah, I enjoy Wendy's burger. I don't think it's the best burger. I think A&W has the best burger. But Wendy's burger is like second. And I enjoy Wendy's fries more than A&W fries. A&W is really lacking on the fries.
Yeah. A&W sucks in a couple of ways, but Wendy's.
And they got the strawberry lemonade.
Touts their freshness, right?
Yes.
So, I gotta say, their burgers. Here's the thing that's impressive. You go to Wendy's, you order it at the little thing. As I'm driving up, they're already throwing the food in the car.
Yeah, they're like, "Here's your food."
Done. I'm not even done ordering it, and they're running out with my food.
I swear to God, I went to the Wendy's in Steinbach, and I ordered it, paid, drove up to the window, they handed me the food, and I drove away. It was that fast. It took them maybe a minute to make my food. It was insane.
Yeah. And here's the thing. Just think about this. When you go to McDonald's, think about it. When you go to the McDonald's and they hand you your food, if you're like me, you're looking at them with your eyes kind of squinted.
Like, what did you mess up?
You're untrusting. And you're going, if I don't look in this bag, I'm going to get home and God knows what I'm going to have in here.
Yeah, before I even leave the window, I'm opening the bag to check. Yeah.
At Wendy's, you can feel confident.
Yeah, I put the bag down and I drive away.
Yeah, happy. So they excel at that.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of it has to do with just the kitchen organization.
Yes,
they've got proper responsibility of duties.
People have stations, and they're doing just that station.
Yeah.
And it works. It works perfectly fine.
Yep. Plus, like you said, I don't mind their fries. I think their fries are just fine. Do you like their fries better than McDonald's fries now?
Yeah. There's something about McDonald's fries I just don't like anymore. I don't know what it is.
Well, they had changed it at one point because they used to cook it in like beef whatever.
Yeah, and it would taste better, and they stopped doing that.
Yes, because it turns out there were people that, are from certain religions that can't eat beef products.
Yeah.
And McDonald's is like, there's no beef in this, and meanwhile they're eating it and all
going
to hell.
Beef.
They're all burning in hell now because they ate the beef. So McDonald's is
Yeah,
responsible for a lot
I
of.
don't know. McDonald's fries, it's like they're too small and thin, and they're all
And
after 2 minutes they become like hard, like
hard and
chalk.
cold, and
Yeah, and it's like
kind of
eating
like the women that we like, hard, cold, dead inside.
all women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God,
Yeah, no,
we
offend everyone.
alienated. We
Yeah,
alienated our
yeah.
one
The
female.
one woman who watched it.
Yeah. And we were to have a rotating guest today. However, Sarah, decided against it at the last minute once again, week 3.
Yeah.
So we would.
Wendy's also has the strawberry lemonade, which is
Yeah, I
fantastic.
I was gonna move on, but I forgot that,
Yes.
which is absolutely a diabetic's dream
Yeah, it's
because
just pure sugar in
it
the.
is pure sugar, and here's the thing: Wendy's still has larges.
Yes.
This is where we're gonna destroy A&W. McDonald's still has a large drink, large fries.
Mm-hmm.
Wendy's, when you ask for a large, you better
Oh,
make sure you got that.
yes.
You better make sure you got a cup holder that can put a bucket in it,
Yeah, yeah.
because
Okay.
you get a large.
For if there by chance there's any Americans watching, your larges are not our larges.
No.
Our larges are your mediums at
Yes.
best.
Yep.
Wendy's has their larges are like the actual American larges, the proper large,
Yeah. Yep.
and it's great. Ranking Wendy's,
We
I'd probably
really
put
we
it
really do
A.
get ripped off here. Yeah.
Yeah.
We really do get the short end of the stick. It's like Russia here. You don't drink drinks you.
Is communist Canada. You have choice
Uh,
of A and B.
not the A&W,
Hey.
A and B.
A and W, you have choice of A. Yeah, should we
Yeah.
talk about A and W then?
So Wendy's, you probably give anywhere from an A to a B. Probably
Yeah.
give it a B plus because it's almost perfect.
I'd give it an A. I'd say it's
Really?
one of my faves.
Okay. All
Uh,
right. Let's move on to the
yeah.
best.
The bet.
A&W. Well, we got to move
Well,
on to Whopper.
you wanna talk about Burger King?
Let's talk about both.
Okay.
A&W, we can quickly say
Pros and
A&W
cons.
A&W may very well have the best tasting burgers.
I would agree. My opinion, it's
They're
the best
very
tasting
they're very
burger.
simplistic. However, what I found with A&W burgers is I have to eat the burger fairly soon, or else
Fresh.
it starts to go weird.
Yes.
The
Fresh.
cheese goes
Yes.
really weird.
Fresh. You can see like the burger juice like coming out of it. It's like dripping with juices, and it's nice and salty, and it tastes good. And the cheese
It's
is like
moist,
stringy.
it's tender.
But if it's cold, that doesn't happen.
Yep. Here's the
It's like a
difference.
block of meat.
You could take a McDonald's quarter pounder, say
Yeah.
a double quarter pounder with cheese, and a Papa Burger, which is the same kind of idea. Put them side by side for a week on a table. You would not want to touch that A&W burger. It would be disgusting. Like
Yeah.
within an hour or two, you could literally eat that double quarter pounder a week later, and it will not have changed in
It'd
any
be
way, shape,
exactly
or
the
form.
same, yeah.
It's weird. One problem I have with Wendy's is their buns sometimes start to disintegrate.
Yeah, they tear easy. They're really
Whereas,
fluffy.
yes, I don't have that problem with McDonald's
Yeah.
or A&W.
Yeah, Wendy's
A&W
is
buns are pretty good.
messier than A&W.
Yeah. So A&W has a good bun, has a good moist burger,
Mm-hmm.
delicious as long as you eat it within a certain period of time.
Your time
Their
constraint, yeah.
yeah, their fries I'm not the biggest fan of, so I
I don't,
usually go
yeah.
with onion rings.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, A&W
And the
has
sizes.
yes, that's what I was about to say. To summarize pros and cons for A&W, I would say their burgers are really great. Um, but they don't have the proper sizes. Their fries suck, and even if their fries didn't suck, you can only get one size of fries. And if you want a different size drink, you can't. They only have one
No.
size drink, I'm pretty sure.
This has always been a problem of mine, is whenever I go to order from the goddamn A&W, they're like, okay, what do you want? I want a Papa Burger. You want to make it a combo? Sure. I'll take that with a large drink, I say. And they always reply with, there's only one size drink. But I'm just conditioned to
Yeah,
say that.
to say
If
I
I
want a
say
large.
regular drink, they say we only have one size drink, and I'm like, okay, well, what size is that one size drink? Because it's a dinky drink.
It's like between a small and a medium almost.
Yeah, and you're still paying the same amount, so
It's
I'm getting
expensive too.
less.
Yeah.
It's expensive. I'm getting less, and I'm all in favor of saving the turtles, but these goddamn paper
Paper
straws.
straws. I was gonna say.
If you don't drink that drink really
Your
fast, you're
straw's
sucking
disintegrating.
paper down.
Yeah.
Your straw starts to disintegrate into the
You're
drink.
you're you're drinking your own straw at that point.
There is biodegradable plastics and other things you can use for this. So there are some reasons why
This
I don't go
is
to A&W, and those are some of them. I cannot take a Papa Burger in my hand
and
and
eat
try
it while
driving
driving. Yeah.
because it will drip and fall apart on me. So
Yeah, A&W I'd say is like a B plus.
yeah, yep,
It's
yep.
good, but
Yeah,
yeah.
we do enjoy it. We
Oh
do enjoy
yeah,
it.
I
So
love it. I know people who
yep.
hate it and they're stupid, so if you're listening,
It's
you're stupid.
it's not a dry
No.
piece of beef jerky.
No, it's not.
Um,
You
McDonald's is
morons.
drier. I would even say Wendy's is drier.
Yeah.
I would I would say that the Whopper from Burger King, nice segue, is
Yeah.
probably the moistest of all of them, but not because of the meat. It's because of the amount
It's
of
because of
goo
the
they put on
convict
it.
sweat
Yeah,
who made the
convict.
burger.
What? Convict?
Yeah, the prison convicts that they have working at Burger King's.
Now, you don't know a lot about Burger King, so let me
I know
how
enough
do I
that I
say?
don't like it.
Let me lay this down for you youngsters.
Uh-huh.
Um, Burger King is don't just call it Whopper.
Immediately screwed
Whoppers.
it up.
I want to go to Whoppers. Whoppers has the fastest service.
Because no one's
Uh,
there.
there is almost never anyone in the drive-through. I can order and get my food really fast.
Yeah.
I never, ever, ever have to wait for the food. Um,
It's not true. We had to wait
they
for your burger.
did we?
Yeah,
Oh,
your chicken one.
oh yeah. I ordered a burger off the menu that
Yeah.
was in
You
front of my
paid
face.
you paid for it and then he was like, "Was that the chicken burger?" And we were like, "Yeah." Like you told us to pay first and then you asked?
Well, plus I asked for a certain burger, and they
Yeah.
said, "Oh, we are not serving that anymore." I'm like, "Yeah, but it's on your board. They have food items on their
Yeah.
board they don't serve." So, um,
You have the Yumbo
things I
burger.
love about it. I'm not a big fan of their fries, but I do like their poutine. I do like a good poutine
Yeah,
offering.
they
They
have
do have poutine.
it's Burger King is weird because it's called Burger King, but the worst thing about it is their burgers.
I like their burgers. So here's the thing:
Yeah,
value,
tell me why
value.
you think it's a good burger and I'll tell you why you're wrong.
Well, I'll tell you why other things are good. They also
Oh,
have
that's what I'm
chicken
saying.
fries.
Their other things are good sometimes, but
No, I'll
the
tell you
worst part
why.
about it is their burgers.
I'll tell you why their burgers are good. Because
Okay.
their poutine is really good.
That's a okay.
Their chicken fries are excellent,
It
but
doesn't
only
make
because of the buffalo sauce. And
which is
unfortunately, it
gone.
seems like they changed the buffalo sauce, making those not very good.
Yeah, those don't make the burger
Burger
good though.
King. When I was in high school, we had the option of Burger King or McDonald's, and we often went to Burger King almost all the time. Now, nowadays, the value is definitely there because I can get two
Oh
Whoppers
my
for
god.
$7, which is an amazing value.
You are such a boomer.
A Whopper though is usually just these really flat buns with a thin piece of meat,
Ugh.
and you get a lot of slop on top of it. So you get like I don't know if it's mayo, but it's like mayo, ketchup,
It's
mustard. You
something.
get like all this stuff, and you get like some shreds of lettuce and some onions and some tomatoes. And if you get two of those, and you're filled up, like they're pretty big. And the only problem is sometimes I don't feel good after I eat the food, like sometimes.
You're
But
such a
then there's
boomer.
times when I go in there and they have something new. Like last time they had a Parmesan burger. There was a
Yeah.
chicken burger I wanted, but they didn't. They said they're
It
not
was
going
like
to
it
give
was like
that
a
to me.
spicy chicken something or other.
Yeah, and I couldn't get it. But then sometimes we're totally missing Dairy Queen, of course. How Dairy Queen, honorable mention. they have like their flamethrower, but it's like an angry Whopper or an angry chicken burger, where they put like this hot sauce on it and
See,
jalapenos and
that's the thing. Burger King seems to be better at making chicken burgers than actual burgers. Cause
yeah,
anytime
well,
anytime I've had a Whopper, I feel gross. Cause it's not it
yeah.
the burger doesn't look good. The burger doesn't taste good. It's like a flat slab of maybe meat between these massive buns, and it's like you're chewing on just bun,
It's
and it
quite a bit
doesn't
of bun.
taste good. It's you feel
You know,
sick
though,
after.
well, sometimes like I would when I
The,
was working downtown, I at lunchtime I would take my car over to the Burger King and get their two for $7, and I'd get a Whopper and a chicken burger. And their chicken burger is sort of shaped funny. It's sort of like an oblong chicken thing.
yeah.
And I would sit in the car eating both of these and feel not good afterwards, but
You ate
they're
both?
so good to eat at the time. Huh?
You ate both of them? You got two burgers and ate both?
Two for $7 though.
Good. Yeah, I
Like
know.
what a good
It's
deal.
$7 because it's not made with real food. It's like made out of carpet or
So good.
something.
God, I
Carpet.
love the Whopper. If you guys enjoy Whoppers, comment. It's sad to know so many people hate it and think it's disgusting.
Because it is.
Like it's amazing that
You know who likes Burger King? 40-year-olds like you.
oh, I thought you were gonna say pedophiles. That's
And that
awful to
Jared
say.
Fogle eats there.
My
But
God. Oh
but
no.
like
He makes the food.
old people eat at Burger King. I don't see young people being like, "Yeah, Burger King," cuz it's like
I rarely see people there. I don't know who eats it.
I old people like you,
Oh,
boomers. Boomers
really?
eat at Burger King.
It's a value. It's a good value.
It's
Like
a value because it sucks. It's garbage. It's terrible. Your generation is like the I guess
Burger
it's
King
like the
generation.
discount cheap, value. Uh,
Yes.
value. It's like it's not good, but
Yes.
it's cheap. We're like I'm like I'd rather pay more for better food. like
It to me it's food. It fills the hole. It fills a
yeah,
need.
to me it's
And
not.
yeah. The problem, of course, with Burger King is you absolutely cannot eat any of that stuff while driving. There's no way. If I tried to eat a Whopper while driving, it would be a
Yeah.
disaster.
I don't want to eat it, period.
The Whopper will fall apart.
God, I just
But yeah, so you don't
yeah.
think Whoppers are good,
Yeah,
and I
Burger
don't
King is
know
an F.
why you don't.
It doesn't taste good. It's gross. The all the restaurants look so dingy and run down. Like the company doesn't have the money to reinvest in Burger King.
They are pretty run down. You know, McDonald's will refresh every so often.
Yeah, every 5-10 years,
Yeah.
McDonald's will renovate all its restaurants.
Wendy's has some nice looking stores.
Wendy's has some nice
One of them are
places.
left. Yeah.
Burger King, it's like I don't see ads anymore for Burger King. I remember when there were ads.
Mhm.
That stopped. I think it stopped around the same time they updated the restaurants because they all look the same as they've always been.
We should have had Sue on this one. Maybe we'll have a Burger King discussion with Sue. Apparently, she used to work there, and
Oh
she says
no.
they used to just have freaky sex, all of them, on like the deep fryers or something. So
That sounds like slander, but
that's
okay.
why the buns are so flat
Because
and
they're sitting on them.
one bun on each butt cheek.
Oh, oh no.
Slander.
Yeah, I don't know. Burger King, I don't like. Burger King, you like. Uh,
I
Dairy
crave
Queen.
it sometimes. I crave it. Dairy Queen.
Yeah, you crave it. It's like craving garbage. Dairy Queen is okay.
Dairy Queen is okay because it's our only fast food
It's the only
place,
thing we have in town that's like
and
burger fast food. All we have is
and that's
pizza.
and that's disappointing in the fact that
Yeah.
the fact that we can't say we necessarily crave going there The answer is, well, it's all we have. And
It's all we got.
it's by no fault of the owners, because
No,
they're making the standard Dairy Queen food, which I used to make when I used to work there a million years ago. It hasn't changed. It's the same. There's no magic to a DQ burger. It's just a basic
it's just a
burger.
burger. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just like a kind of tasteless, bland burger.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
okay. Their big seller is like ice cream anyway, so
Hmm.
you'd go there for that. One complaint I would have, like, I guess it's just with RDQ because it's the only one we have and everyone goes there. It's really slow. Um,
It's slow, and they often get the order right, which is good.
yeah,
So I could excuse that,
in our
but the
experience, yeah,
consistency and quality of the food
it's
is
wavered.
sometimes,
Yeah,
yeah, sometimes you get a burger that's fine, sometimes you get a burger that's so
yeah.
slathered in
Ugh.
slop.
Yeah, sometimes I get a burger that's like a good consistency of ketchup and mustard, and sometimes I get one that's drowned in mustard
Yeah.
with like a tiny squirt of ketchup on it. I'm like, this is inedible, but it's all I have, so I'll eat it.
I'll cry, but I'll eat it.
Yeah, I'll eat it, but I won't like it.
And
Uh,
I'm kind of, it would have been nice maybe to have a Burger King out here, but
uh,
having having a DQ is nice in that it was kind of a smart move on their part to get like ice cream and burgers, because like
yes.
you said, we have pizza coming out of our yin yang here, but we don't have burger places
You know, like,
here.
we're a small town with 5 different pizza places all competing for the same people, so
Yeah.
that's where we're at with fast food here.
And we don't necessarily have the greatest pizza per se. I think
No, the best we have
I
is Nyaqua, maybe.
I like Nyaqua. I like the
I
pizzeria.
like the pizzeria.
Those are about it.
I worked at Chef, and I don't want that.
Yeah.
So
We do
yeah,
have chicken chef.
I
So
I
yeah,
think I think that's good. We're an hour and 20,
good.
so you can do your outro.
I will do that. Thank you all for listening. See ya.
Is that your outro? Is that it?
Should I say more?
No, no, no. I'll stop.
See ya.